Let's go. We are going to get a jump start on Christmas this week. I know. You're like, Melanie, it's not even fall yet. But listen, we're here for it. We can do Christmas in July. I've never celebrated, but I'm going to celebrate now. And I hope that you'll come and celebrate with me. We're going to make some amazing projects using these fun peel and stick wallpapers from my new friends over at Main Street. They have some amazing selection choices and all sizes that you can choose from. I'm going to put a link here below for you to check them out. But without further ado, let's get going on these Christmas ideas. Using the Chalkboard peel and stick wallpaper from Main Street Creations makes it super simple to create a sign. So I'm just kind of showing you how you can cut out a piece to fit one of those Dollar Tree silver trays. This is going to make a really cute sign for a tray or any display that you have on your countertop. You're going to want to pick one of your favorite stencils. I will link the stencils that I use below and just position it in the center of the tray. I meant to mention, I'll also link for you the Main Street Creations peel and stick wallpapers so that you can shop their site yourself. Be sure to use my code Melanie it's Melanie15 for a discount. Now I'm making sure to get it kind of sealed down in all of the edges of the tray before I add the simple paste. So this is a chalk paste, which is completely removable. So if you mess up, which is my favorite thing, you can wipe it all off with a baby wipe and start over. So awesome. So the key with creating a really nice stencil is to just remember that less is more. You want a simple stroke over the entire surface, making sure to fill in all of the openings of the stencil. Once you have that, try to resist the urge of going back over it and over it and over it. This is the key to a really crisp lines and beautiful sign. Once you have the chalk paste completely covered, you're going to peel to reveal your design. I absolutely love that part. It is so exciting. Now, if you see a couple of smears or some places where the lines aren't as crisp as you would like, you can take some isopropyl alcohol, or I'm just using simple water here with an artist brush to kind of clean up the edges. And then if you want, you can also take a artist paintbrush and use some more of that chalk paste to fill in any pieces you may have accidentally erased with the water. And that is exactly what I'm doing here. Once you have it like, you can hit it with a heat tool really quickly just to kind of make sure that it is dry before you use it on your display. I also used a baby wipe just to kind of clean the edges of my silver tray. And here it is. This is how it turned out. I displayed it here on a black wicker scalloped tray. That was something new. And then I also added these Dollar Tree lanterns and these vintage ornaments, which was my something old. And then something handmade by you is obviously my stencil tray from Dollar Tree. I love this little arrangement. I hope you'll give it a try for yourself. And who do you know that loves to do stenciling and would think this was the most amazing project ever and be so grateful you shared it with them? Super easy, super fun, turned out really, really stinking cute. Just know this is versatile. You can wipe this off with a baby wipe cloth and redo the whole thing for a different holiday. I love this idea. I would love to know what you think in the comments below. Have you seen this peel and stick wallpaper that's actually dry erase? I am absolutely loving it and all the ideas of things you can do with it. So I'm taking this scrap piece and using my pinking shears and cutting out just simple rectangular shapes. Again, do this with any scrap wallpaper, but I'm loving the idea of the dry erase. So once I have 4 of these cut out, they're pretty equal in size. I thought they would make the perfect leftover labels. For all of those holiday meals where you have leftovers you want to send home with all of your guests. I thought it would be a cute and pretty way to do so. So I'm just kind of showing you here where I'm adding them to this Tupperware, but it also works on glass or tin foil, those aluminum pans that you send home with people with all of the leftovers. So for this, I am just going to mark leftovers, but But for you, you are going to write what's in the container, and I love putting a date on it so that myself or whoever is the recipient knows exactly when it was gifted to them. So this will be great for when you make all of those homemade baked goods that you're giving to all your friends and neighbors. The ideas are endless. What would you use these dry erase labels for? Let me know in the comments below. I love using scraps of peel and stick wallpaper. How about you? This little piece of peppermint stripe was from Main Street Creations, and I absolutely love their options for peel and stick wallpaper projects. So I'm going to just kind of trace out this Dollar Tree tray. I love the silver trays there. And then I'm going to cut it out, of course. Peel and stick it right into the center of the tray. Now listen, don't worry. If you mess up like me, you can remove the peel and stick, but just try not to do it too many times. It will create a crease. Now I tried rub and buff on the edges of this first, and it was really way too sheer. So I wanted to change this into a gold color, and I ended up going with an acrylic 24 karat gold paint. So it did end up taking 2 coats, but it was totally worth it because the look was stunning. I loved how it picked up on the gold stripes in the peppermint stripe peel and stick wallpaper. There it is, all finished. I am going to add a couple of stencils here. I just took some fun little tags from, I think it was Hobby Lobby several seasons ago, and then this Ho 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 stencil from Magnolia. I will link all my supplies, of course, in the description below, but how stinking cute is this going to be? I'm just adding some white here. I don't know why I cut out all 3 of these because they're all 3 the same word. So I just reused the stencil on each of the tags, going back over it with the white chalk paste. Once I had that done, I decided they needed a little bow. So I love this little bow with the white stitching on the edges. And I just used a zip tie to make one of the most simple and very, very cute but effective bows for these little tags. I just wanted to make sure they were the right size before I trimmed them, but I ended up putting the little mermaid tails in the bottom of these little bow tails. So I cut them down to size, and then I repeated it for all 3 of the tags. I decided to glue them down the center of this little tray and kind of use this tray in the portrait or up and down version of this tray instead of kind of the landscape or side to side version. And I thought it turned out so adorable. I placed it here with a couple of vintage thrifted cookbooks, and I put it on a little picture easel here with a candle wrap around it. And this is just a little flameless candle placed next to it. Just a little montage for you to enjoy and see kind of what the possibilities are with these Dollar Tree trays. Now, I decided that this would look even better if it was nighttime, which it was not, but I turned off the lights to give you a better look at this project close up. Who do you know that would love one of these trays? And will you make one for yourself? This one is so cute. I wasn't sure all throughout the process. You know how we are as creatives. We start out strong, then we're nervous in the middle, and then at the end, it all works out. Don't you think this one turned out? I hope you do. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Would you have left it silver? I'm loving how it picks up the gold in the peppermint stripes here. And the fun little ho ho ho. That was just a last minute addition. I don't know. What do you think? Let's zhuzh up a plain, simple Dollar Tree candle. First, you've got to remove that pesky label. I do not like labels. Get them off of there. Super simple, just using the X-Acto knife. Peel off that label, and then you have the perfect candle to start any craft with. Now, this one is the vanilla cashmere scent. I actually don't mind the scent, but I feel like I'm going to add some peppermint essential oil to it just to kind of make it smell a little more festive. Now, for this project, I'm using the Main Street Creations peel and stick wallpaper in that fun peppermint pattern. I will link those below. Don't forget to use my code Melanie15 so that you can get the discount there. Now, for this, I am just measuring kind of half-heartedly the size of the candle. Now, each candle is different in size. Whatever you choose will work. Just cut your peppermint patterned peel and stick wallpaper. That's a mouthful. Using like a straight edge or my new favorite fun tool, the cutter. So for this, I'm just wrapping it around, making sure that the pattern attaches in the center exactly where I want it to before, committing to sticking it to my candle. But never fear, it is peel and stick. So you will see as we add it to the candle, it is super simple to peel it back off a little ways and reattach it. So you're just going to peel a little bit off at a time using your thumb to get it kind of on there without any bubbles. That is the goal. But as you see, it was simple to peel back off. See, there's a little bubble there, and I'm just peeling it back off, making sure that it goes down smooth. Once you have it on, that is it is so simple, so pretty, so festive. I love it for the holidays. It also makes an amazing gift. Now, I couldn't leave it there. You know me, Melanie has to do it up a little extra. So we're going to add some bling. Grab a vintage brooch, a piece of jewelry, or any of these. I ended up landing on the wreath shape because I thought it really lended to the Christmas theme. And this is how she looks. I am in love with this new peppermint candle look. This is how you can display it on a simple tray on your counter. I'm just using, again, something new. It is that black wicker scalloped tray, which I will link below. Something old, which is the cookbooks that I have thrifted over the years. And of course, something handmade by you, which is this beautiful peppermint candle from the Dollar Tree. Such an easy and fun way to display it. You can also, of course, gift these, and I just think that they give that perfect little pop of holiday charm to your display. Let me know in the comments below, do you like this? Will you make it? What do you think? You know I love me a good candle, and this one is no exception. Look at that pretty little brooch on the top of the candle. I'm telling you, the vanilla cashmere smells amazing, but I almost would put some, like a peppermint candle would be really cute in this too. But I'm loving the idea of this, and you can put a little bit of peppermint oil drops on the top when you light it. Now you're talking. Makes the cutest gift. Who do you know that would totally appreciate one of these? There are lots of ways to display a nativity, but this has to be hands down one of my favorite ways. You're just going to take a Dollar Tree house. You know those little wooden houses, they put them out all the time, all year round. Grab one of those. I did one of the smaller sizes, and then some of the chalkboard peel and stick wallpaper, and I will link some from Main Street Creations below. Now, for this one, we're just going to use an X-Acto knife to cut it down to size to fit inside of the wooden house shape. And then we're going to choose a stencil. I grabbed this one from Magnolia Stencils, and I'll link all of the choices below because you don't have to make one just like mine. They don't actually have this stencil anymore, but the exact same nativity scene is on another stencil that I'm going to link below for you. So what I'm doing here is just defuzzing, it's called fuzzing the stencil, where you just kind of take that extra stickiness off of a brand new stencil so that it will not completely adhere to your piece of paper so much that it peels it off the paper, if that makes sense. So we want to keep the integrity of our reusable stencil by making sure that it is ready to use. Now, once I have it on here in position where I want it, it's not going to cover the entire nativity set, but it's going to cover the parts that I want, which is the Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus. So I'm going to use just the white chalk paste here, and it's so simple and so satisfying. You're just going to squeegee it over your open parts of the stencil. I grabbed a couple of the stars that are showing through on the stencil as well. And here's what I mean why it's so important to defuzz it. So it will peel off the back, super simple. Now I'm just adding a couple more of the stars, repositioning the stencil so that it covers them, and adding those to the top. Then once it's a little bit dry, you may even have to hit it with your heat gun a little bit. I'm gonna place it inside of this wooden house from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use this little tiny green tool. You can use anything. You can use literally anything. A paintbrush, a toothpick, whatever you have on hand. Even the squeegee once you clean it. And I'm just putting it in the insert. And again, I am not worried about it being a little bit too big. We're going to cut that off. We're going to make it work. We're going to make it look wonderful. Use just one of the straight edge knives, the X-Acto knives. I grabbed this one at Dollar Tree as well. And just be sure to be gentle, wiggle as you go so that it's very, very easy to come out. Now, once it's out, it is so stinking pretty, but I thought it'd be great to add a little bit of sparkle. Of course, this is how we started. This is how we ended up. I love this version of a nativity. What do you think? You're going to want to send this to your friend who likes things a little bit sparkly, maybe even a little bit extra. You're going to start by just taking this Dollar Tree white pillar candle, removing that pesky sticker off the back using kind of a heat tool effect. It really helps remove it. And then we're going to take this awesome peel and stick wallpaper from Main Street Creations, and we're going to cut it down to size. So someone asked me, and I had to go back and measure because I am not that great with girl math, and it ended up being about 5.5 by 7 inches for this particular project. But again, you do you. You make it the exact size that you want. You might want it to cover the entire candle. You might want it to just cover a tiny strip. But I wanted to make sure that it included all the designs on this really fun peel and stick wallpaper. I'll put a link below for you to check out Main Street Creations. Be sure to use my code Melanie15 so that you can get the discount. Now, once I got it cut down to size, again, I measured it just to make sure, and I simply peeled it and stuck it. That is the beauty of peel and stick wallpaper craft projects. And that is what makes them one of my favorite easy projects to do. So once I had this wrapped around the entire pillar candle, of course, pressing down in the middle first and then pressing down the edges, I'm going to add a little pop of Mod Podge. Be careful. Don't get it too thick like me. You want to make sure it's just a really nice, thin, even, but sufficiently covered strip of Mod Podge. And then I'm going to take the secret ingredient. This is the sparkle. It is the diamond dust. And I'm just dipping the entire candle down in there. So easy. Now, you could get fussy and use gloves and make this super clean project, but I just put a little piece of parchment paper underneath the diamond dust to catch the extra pieces, and it worked like a charm. Now, you could always interchange this with glitter or with Epsom salt. The world is your oyster when it comes to options to create the sparkle part. But I have a small little obsession with the diamond dust because it is so extra sparkly and beautiful. Now I'm sticking the entire candle in here, including down where the wax is, and it's going to create a really pretty sparkle effect on top of the candle where the wax is. Any parts that got missed, I sprinkled a little extra on there by hand, and this is how she turned out. I added it to a dough bowl with a few little ornaments to complement the colors of the peel and stick wallpaper, but I'm already seeing a little sparkle coming through at the bottom of the candle. But this has to be one of the hands down easiest DIYs you can make. You literally peel and stick the wallpaper onto a Dollar Tree pillar candle and add a little bit of sparkle. Add a little bit of flair, whimsy. You know how to get creative with this. I'm loving that pop of sparkle. Tell me in the comments below, who do you know that likes sparkly things too? I think this would be a great project to send to them, or get busy making these for your friends. I think they would make a fabulous gift. Let me know what you think. This is one of those projects I almost didn't share with you, but I decided after the fact that it might inspire you. I don't know. If it inspires one person to create this, then I have done my job. So I'm just taking this fun Febreze bottle and I'm going to zhuzh it up a little bit using this Main Street Creations Christmas themed peel and stick wallpaper. I started with just removing the top from the bottle as well as, and it pops right off, as well as removing the label that was on it with just an X-Acto knife. And then I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I'm eyeballing the size of the bottle to the size of the strip of peel and stick wallpaper that I want. But I am going to warn you, I think that you should just do the peel and stick wallpaper on the flat part of the bottle. So this is what I'm talking about. I am trying to line up the peel and stick wallpaper to the base of the bottle, which is just fine. And then you're going to want to use your hands to make sure that it is smooth going all the way around. Now, this one was a doozy because it was a little bit too round at the bottom as well as at the top. So you're going to want to take just complete care with how you are adhering this to your bottle. Remember, it is peel and stick, so it will come off pretty easily if you pull on it. And I decided the best way was to just pull it very taut as I wrapped it around the bottle. Then once I smoothed it over, I took a pair of tiny little scissors and created little angled notches at the top of the bottle. Once that was done, I pushed down each little piece so that it would go down smoothly, or try to be smooth. Then I put the lid back on, and this is how it turned out. But of course, I couldn't leave it alone. Melanie doesn't leave things alone. I went ahead and got some paint pens, and these are just Magnolia chalk paste markers, and I added little dots here and there and everywhere on the lid of the Febreze bottle. Now, this is just a little fun project. This is just a way to spend a couple of minutes in the afternoon if you want to zhuzh up a fabric freshener smelling spray around your house for the holidays. My kids will think I've lost my mind, I'm sure, but I'm here for it. I think anything that brings you joy and anything that makes you smile is worth it. So I added these pink dots just kind of haphazardly, and then I went ahead and took it a little further and I added more. I added red dots, and then I added gold dots, and then I added silver chrome swirls and white dots. It went a whole different direction than I originally planned, but I still think it sort of turned out cute. What do you think? All right, my friend, if you haven't already, I would appreciate it so much if you hit that notification bell and gave this video a thumbs up. Also, if you want to stay super connected, go ahead and sign up with my email. We can stay in touch every single week. I can bring you fresh ideas. Make sure you don't miss a single thing here. I appreciate you as always, my friend, and until next time, stay creative.